Hello, welcome to What the Flick. We all have all of our weapons at the ready to kill each other in the name of what? Patriotism,
Panem.
food. We're talking about Catching Fire, the Hunger Games sequel. Alonso, Christy, Matt, Ben. Alonso's going to describe to you the mythology of Catching Fire.
All right, as Sofia Vergara would say on SNL, boom, Hunger Games! Okay, so yeah, we're back. And Katniss and Peeta, having survived the first go-around, are now having to do the tour of the provinces, which is basically the tour of rubbing your nose in the fact that we killed somebody you like. And meanwhile, there is presidential intrigue going on. President Snow not happy with the fact that he had one, they pulled one over on him with that berry trick at the end of the first movie. And so ultimately they decide that they're going to do a Hunger Games All-Stars for number 75 and make former champions go back into the ring, and which means that Katniss and Peeta are back into training. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victors of the 74th Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark.
He fought very hard in the games, Miss Everdeen. But they were games. Would you like to be in a real war?
Show them that she is one of us now.
Chins up, smiles on.
They're gonna hate her so much, they might just kill her for you.
Please just help me get through this trip.
From now on, your job is to be a distraction. The 75th Hunger Games!
I think these games are gonna be different.
Her entire species must be eradicated.
Her species, sir.
The tributes are to be reaped from the existing pool of victors.
So it's the 75th Hunger Games, but it's the third
Quarter Quell.
the third Quarter Quell, right?
Look, Harry Potter made up a ton of terms.
Totally.
You could go with the one.
I like Quarter Quell. Now, I guess I was traveling. I didn't see the first one, and then because I missed our review of it, I didn't feel any burning desire to catch up on it.
Were you totally lost?
No, because I knew going in, I just was like, stuff's going to be explained.
We had talked about
We had talked about it, but I forgot to read the Wikipedia page, which was
Because
Matt's.
you didn't have 3 hours to kill.
But I just took a deep breath, and I was like, okay. So I was a little puzzled by how did they both live the first time. I mean, clearly it had to do with the grapes or whatever the berries. Right, and but I thought, so I was unclear whether there was only one winner, but I thought, of course there has to be one winner. That's the whole, that would be the point. If I were designing the game, I would make it so there was one winner. But that said, if you just take a deep breath, I was really into it. And the fact is, I didn't have much of a desire to see the first one, and I almost will certainly watch the first one this weekend. That's how much I liked this one. I was really into it.
You'll be disappointed a little.
Is that right?
Yeah.
This one's better than the first one you did?
I think so. One of the things I remember bringing up in our What the Flick review, like I felt like the mythology and kind of the government of the world wasn't really well explained, and I felt like there wasn't a lot of sense given as to why these games worked. This movie does a much better job of this. This movie does a much better job of setting up and showing the totalitarian capital, and in a way that it doesn't in the first one. Like in the first one, everything's just kind of shitty, and they all kind of look like they should all be, like Okies on the road someplace. Like they kind of look, but you don't get.
Yeah, District 12 is definitely Appalachia in the first movie.
And what you see in this movie, that what you don't see is you see, the government sending their stormtroopers in to, and they very knowingly have a scene where they talk about like, make things bad, like shut down the black markets. Anytime somebody says anything, shoot them or whip them or beat them, and at the same time, play the psychological warfare with them. And this movie does a really much better job of showing that world and making you understand how the Hunger Games fit within that government system than the first one does, and that really helped me on this one.
Maybe I probably in reviewing the first one now won't have that problem because I'll at least know what it is.
I mean, I disagree. I like this one better than the first one, definitely. But I think the first one does a pretty good job of sort of giving you the whole bread and circuses reality TV aspect of it, and sort of how it's a tool to make people live in fear and that kind of thing. But it's definitely better expressed this time.
It's much better because not that we're reviewing the first one. The first one, like all you get is is the circus, and you don't really get anything else. And it doesn't.
I think this movie is. I was really impressed by the fact that I was totally sucked in and really cared about, not just sort of the the political subtext, but the characters and what was going to be happening. And I was shocked to discover. I took my phone out that it took 85 minutes to get to the actual Hunger Games, and it was completely captivating. And the movie runs
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours,
Right,
and it
2:26.
zips by. I was never bored.
Right.
I think it,
I was a tiny bit disappointed.
When it ends?
When it ends,
I gotta wait a year and a half to find out what happened.
It's very Empire Strikes Back. But the cast is great. I mean, the returning people are terrific. But then they give you, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Jenna Malone and Jeffrey Wright and Amanda
Sam
Plummer
Claflin.
and Sam Claflin and what's her face, the woman who plays Magda, Lynn Cohen.
Yes.
All these really amazing character actors.
Played Magda on Sex and the City.
She is.
You're right, actually. I hadn't thought about that.
Pretty impressive.
It's
Yeah.
Mags, not Mags.
It was Mags here.
Mags. Okay,
on
well,
Sex and
all
the
right,
City, but
sorry.
still
That's
counts.
why I was thinking it. But yeah, no. So this movie, I think, really delivers in terms of I heard people. One of the complaints people had about the first movie was that there were so many close-ups that it took away from the sort of action element of the film. And I think this one really balances the action stuff and the character plot stuff really well and makes it all really fascinating.
Lawrence directed the first one too?
No, the first was
Gary
directed by
Ross
Gary
did
Ross.
The first one.
Right.
No,
Francis Lawrence who directed I Am Legend, yeah.
So he knows his dystopian futures.
And Water for Elephants, so he can tell a decent love story too.
I like to, to your point about one of the things it does, this is kind of a quiet scene, but one of the things this movie gets right, for instance, is the Elizabeth Banks character, who is so shallow and really not a real person in the first movie. And I understand that character is written that way, but you start to see the cracks in the facade. And it's done.
And Stanley Tucci, both
And
of them.
Stanley Tucci, but you really see it in Elizabeth Banks' character, Effie, in a very subtle way. It's not over the top. Like, they play it subtle.
I did not know until credits.
No.
Who
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen the first one. I didn't know it was
It's
Elizabeth
just a
Banks.
mouthpiece
And I was
of the
trying.
Capitol
I was like,
the
that's
first
so
time,
recognizable. Who the hell?
I couldn't tell if that they were playing it more human this time, or it's just that real life is catching up to how caricatured those characters are. But yeah, you're right.
This is part of my problem with the lack of interest in seeing the first one when I missed our review of it, was because I thought this was way more young adulty.
Well, it is in theory.
The books technically
okay,
are.
but the
yeah.
movie
Kids
is.
killing
This
each
is
other,
a.
yeah, and
This
it's
is
supposed to be young
a. This is a really great sci-fi
Right, it's
movie.
like a real movie.
Yeah, it's a
Out
real
of a young
movie.
adult.
Starring last year's Best Actress winner.
Right, and let's just mention that before I get into like how great Stanley Tucci was in an over-the-top role that maybe isn't even that tough, but I mean,
He's hilarious.
but he's so good.
I want to see a whole movie about that guy.
So great, so
teeth are
great.
so white.
His teeth are so, and they're huge. Yeah, they're big.
Those
I mean,
are
that's
choppers.
the best movie game show host since Richard Dawson.
Dawson and the Running Man,
Running Man.
yes.
But he's not too far off from reality.
No, he's
he's
not.
not.
He's
And
just a little bit in this other
I
world.
so wanted him to see. I so wanted him to say, "It's time to start running."
I don't know. I doubt that's the kind of role that gets a Best Supporting Actor
No.
nomination, but I'd love it. It would be great.
costume design.
Especially
The costumes are so
if
good.
he gave a speech in the outfit, if he won, and a speech like the
Or
character.
just go to the Oscars.
But Jennifer Lawrence, for what as I'm on this talk about being late to the game, actors are important, and I mean, but like. She makes this movie so much better that it's her, and that she has this gravity and this range and this capability of sort of making you feel something without speaking. I don't know. I just if it were a lesser actress, I'm positive
But she
I
kind
wouldn't.
of holds her own against Sutherland and against Hoffman.
Totally.
And against these,
Totally
I mean,
holds her own.
Totally, she's phenomenal.
She
She's
has to do
just
this-
phenomenal.
She has to do this thing where she has to be tough, she has to be a badass, she has to be wise beyond her years, but also be vulnerable and accessible to us and kind of a girl, because she's still a teenager, right?
And there were
The
moments.
character,
in
yeah,
the
is
movie,
like
still
And there
a
were moments where she
teenager, yeah.
seemed like a 19-year-old girl, and then moments where she was like, "No, I might be the leader of the revolution."
WOMAN.
Right.
I had
Anyway.
read the book and I was still totally enthralled. Like, I forgot about how they figure out the game system. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it is, and I forgot that it ends like that. So I was totally with it, and then it ends. I'm like, wait, no more. So the fact that they can no, it was a different guy who was the gamekeeper in the first one.
They made a nice guess.
He's amazing in this.
And they reference his death a few times in this movie.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't recall who played Seneca Crane.
It was
remember who it
the floating paper bag, the American Beauty, Wes Bentley.
I was like, wait, Werner Herzog?
That's a great way to get there. That was really good.
We should do Password together
I
all the time.
I know.
We're
This
so
is a
good.
game show
I was
moment.
about to say like heroin addict.
Anyway, but he gives that totally chilling speech about that you reference about the shootings and the fear. Like
Yeah.
it's hilarious and chilling at the same time. The way his deadpan delivery
President
is.
Snow needs some advisors. Like this is a guy who just does everything himself. He goes to meetings himself. He's got nobody.
She shows up at her
not
house.
much of a delegator.
Not
You're
much
right.
of a delegator.
Are we taking
That's how you
numbers?
be. That's to run a totalitarian. Like that.
Right,
He
right.
puts the total.
The cult of personality. That's right, yeah. All right, I loved it. I really liked it. Really surprised that I liked it so much. I gave it an 8.6.
Okay, 7.6.
What did I say?
You get 8.5.
8.5.
I give it an 8.
8.4 for the Hunger Games.
And
It's at
currently 94% on the tomato meter.